Welcome to Iowa State University. Hopefully, by now, you're mostly settled in, a little bit familiar with Iowa State's research structure, and ready to begin working in your brand new research setting. Now, let's talk about research safety. At ISU, safety is important whether you're doing research in a lab, shop, farm, greenhouse, or in the field. We, as environmental health and safety, are here to help you achieve your research goals safely. The very first thing you should do as a new research faculty member is safety training. EH&S provides hands-on, in-person safety orientation sessions for new faculty, staff, and students at the beginning of every fall semester, with other hands-on trainings throughout the year. You can log into Workday Learning and sign up for these hands-on safety orientations if you are interested. Even if you can't attend one of these hands-on, in-person trainings, all laboratory personnel, including principal investigators, must complete at least the 3 required trainings: Laboratory Safety Core Concepts, Fire Safety and Fire Extinguisher Training, and the Emergency Response Guide video. These 3 courses are available online. You might have a shop instead of a conventional wet chemical or biological lab. EH&S has a variety of shop-related training resources and shop safety fundamentals training that all shop users must complete. Check out our EH&S shop safety webpage to find out more. If you have new students, postdocs, or staff members, it's your responsibility to ensure that they complete the required EH&S training and also receive appropriate lab-specific training. You'll need to keep records of who has completed what trainings and when they expire. You can find a template on the EH&S website to document site-specific training. Laboratory personnel should submit an online hazard inventory form, including you as the principal investigator. This form will help EH&S staff determine appropriate controls for hazards your research group encounters and if you might need exposure monitoring. Every lab must have a copy of the Laboratory Safety Manual readily available for lab personnel as a printed or electronic copy. As ISU's Chemical Hygiene Plan, the Lab Safety Manual outlines all the federal, state, and local regulations and university policies. All PIs must comply with what's outlined in the Laboratory Safety Manual. Are you planning to use chemical or biological materials for your research activities? If so, you'll need to inventory them in EH&S's online chemical and biological inventories. Just send us an email at ehsinfo@iastate.edu letting us know which lab spaces belong to you and who you'd like to have access to those inventories. The links to these inventories can be found on the EH&S website, and you'll be granted access once you let us know which lab spaces belong to you. You'll also be able to grant access to additional users who can add, edit, or delete items from your inventories. Once the inventories are complete, you can create the required door signs for your labs. The door sign application on the EH&S website generates a door sign that includes a National Fire Protection Agency, or NFPA, diamond with hazard numbers based on your chemical inventory, PPE that you selected, special requirements needed to enter your labs, and finally, it contains the emergency contact information. Please ensure that you have at least one after-hours phone number as an emergency contact. This door sign is particularly important for first responders, EH&S, and other personnel who might need to enter your lab spaces in case of an emergency. Post the door sign in color on the outside of each laboratory door. Next, you'll need to create an Emergency Action Plan, or EAP, for your labs. The EAP application is also on our website. This document is for the lab personnel working in the lab. The EAP includes things the lab personnel must do in case of an emergency. For example, a fire in the lab, a chemical or biological spill, a severe weather incident, or a medical emergency. It's the PI's responsibility to train everyone in the lab on the EAP and post the EAP inside the lab near each exit. Now that you're compliant with the required training, inventories, and signage, let's talk about hazardous chemicals in the lab. Every lab with hazardous chemicals must ensure that everyone has access to safety data sheets of all the hazardous chemicals. You can keep a folder of the SDSs in the lab or have PDFs downloaded to a shared folder where all lab personnel can access them. If you have chemicals in your lab, then you will generate hazardous chemical waste. given that the university has a strict no chemicals down the drain policy as part of an agreement with the City of Ames. Ensure all your lab personnel review the waste and recycling guidelines on our website. They should know how to complete the orange waste tag, how to submit a waste request online to EH&S, and how to segregate waste based on the chemical hazard classes. Make sure your lab has a satellite accumulation area designated with an SAA sign. Contact EH&S for SAA signs and orange waste tags. If your lab has a fume hood, ensure that it's certified, which is indicated on the certification log located on the fume hood. EH&S certifies fume hoods on campus annually. If your fume hood malfunctions, is broken, or an alarm is going off, please contact EH&S and we can help coordinate with the Facilities Planning and Management (FP&M) department to fix it. EH&S will retest for proper airflow once the fume hood is fixed before you can resume work. If you have a biosafety cabinet, EH&S will help you get signed up for annual certification through our vendor, and we can answer any questions about moving or adding one to your research space. If you have safety showers or eye wash stations in your lab, make sure they've been inspected and tested. FP&M inspects and tests the safety showers annually or every 6 months, depending on the location, while flushing the eye wash stations every month is the responsibility of the lab personnel. We understand that as a new PI, you may have inherited some unwanted lab equipment or other research materials from the space's previous occupant. If you have unwanted or broken equipment, EH&S can assist you with disposal. Submit laboratory equipment disposal forms to EH&S to initiate the process. EH&S can also assist with disposal of unwanted chemicals or biological materials. If your research involves human, animal, or plant pathogens, or radiological materials and devices, please contact EH&S for further assistance in getting necessary permits, licenses, or just understanding your registration. When you receive or ship hazardous materials at ISU, the person shipping or receiving them must complete the Hazardous Materials Shipping Awareness Training online to become an authorized shipper. Our website's Hazardous Materials Shipping Guide outlines all the necessary packaging, labeling, and paperwork procedures. We recommend contacting EH&S at least 1 week before shipment for materials that have not been shipped before. Once we know what research spaces are yours and what type of research you'll be conducting, an EH&S staff member will reach out to schedule an annual lab safety survey. The checklists for these surveys can be found on our website. Additional resources for starting up a new research lab can be found on our webpage. This video has provided the basics that can assist you and your research group in achieving a safe, healthy, and compliant workplace. However, this is not a comprehensive list. You might have more specific, safety-related questions about your research. For more details, refer to the Laboratory Safety Manual or contact EH&S at 515-294-5359 or email us at ehsinfo@iastate.edu. Thank you for taking the time to review the ISU safety guidelines, and we wish you a very successful research career at ISU.